Hello, distinguished lecturers. My name is Nadia Nayara, and today I'm going to be presenting my research paper named A Segmentation Analysis of Indonesian Packaged Drinking Water Consumers Based on Their Advertising Concept Preferences. These are the contents which I'm going to elaborate in this presentation. For introduction, the packaged drinking water, or PDW, is all over Indonesia, where brands compete on functional, emotional, and sustainability cues. Present studies segment customers by transactions, which are commonly using RFM plus K-means, and rarely by advertising concept preferences enriched with short text and sentiment. The purpose of this study is to segment consumers by preferred ad concepts and tech reasons to guide ad message strategy. This is done by combining concept cues plus sentiment to improve interpretability and clustering. And for the scope, for the population, only Indonesian consumers of packaged drinking water contacted through the SIR survey agency. After data, only demographics present in data plus 3 short open-end responses. For the methods, text preprocessing, concept extraction, sentiment features, mixed data reduction, FIMD, and clustering using K-means and agglomerative. And for the boundaries, focus on advertising, concept preferences, which is not including pricing experiments, distribution, or media effectiveness, which is why we only use internal validation only. And for the objective, we will identify coherent consumer segments based on ad concept, preferences, and short text justifications. We'll evaluate which clustering approach, K-means versus agglomerative, and number of cluster best fit the data, and profile each segment dominant appeal, sentiment, tone, and key demographic to inform creative strategy. We will then produce a reproducible pipeline for PDW or CPG segmentation using short text. And for the benefits, for practice, we will give clear creative brief and message for audience fit, which will result in lower risk for wrong message for PDW target consumer. And for research, we will help them evidence for adding sentiment or text use to mixed data clustering in an emerging market CPG context. And for consumers, we will give them a more relevant ad and transparent advertising which is aligned with stated preferences that they have. And for the literature review, consumer behavior with choices blend utility, emotion, and ethics, tone, and credibility to shape trust and loyalty. And for market segmentation, transaction-based RFM, mixed type, and text-informed approaches enable more interpretable, behaviorally rich consumer segments. And for brand preference, consistent emotional experience strengthen the preference. For PDW trend, rising demand alongside environmental inspection, credible claims outperform greenwashing. And for clustering methods, there are mixed data pipelines, text-based graphics enable, which will help interpretable clusters. And for consolidation, Silhouette, Davis-Bultin, and Kalinsky-Harabast is used to assess cohesion or separation. And for the related works, there are some, including short text plus mixed data, which results in embed text, and then after embed text, it is clustered, and dimensionality reduction using FIMD, PCA, or UMAP. And this is helpful to compact features and add visualization or clustering. And for representation learning, it improves cluster separability of raw features. For topic models, it extracts interpretable ad concept themes for downstream clustering. Our sentiment features, polarity or intensity, it combined with concept features will boost internal metrics and narrative richness. And for stability checks, multi-seed sampling, bootstrapping, cross methods, and agreement evaluate with Silhouette, DBI, and CHI. And for stability check, there are a few things that you can use to check. And for interpretability, there are prototypes, centroids, and post-hoc pipeline to explain drivers of each segment. In Indonesian concept, multilingual or domain-adapted embeddings improve robustness on short and formal text. And for the research question, which clustering algorithm perform best for clustering the customer based on evaluation metrics? How many distinct customer segments emerge when clustered by those concept preferences, and how stable are the segments across alternative clustering criteria? What are the defining characteristics of each use cluster in terms of dominant advertising concept preferences? How can the resulting clusters be translated into practical advertising insights, especially to determine which types of message appeals are the most appropriate for each segment? And for hypothesis, added sentiment features improve cluster quality versus concept only. And for segment differs in preferred appeals, including functional, emotional, sustainability, social, and sentiment intensity. Okay, so this is the flowchart for the methodology that we will use. We will start by data collection and then doing EDA, data preprocessing, including this feature extraction, standardizing text, sentiment extraction, one-hot decoding, and FAMD. For modeling, we will use k-means and agglomerative to decide which is best. And for model evaluation, we will use silhouette, Davis Boolean index or DBI, and Kalin-Harabas index or CHI. And from the best cluster, according to the model evaluation, we will interpret the cluster that are the result from the model. And so for data collection, we have 8 variables and 1,000 entries, which are obtained through the survey agency, which we will not disclose for privacy reasons. And there are various demographic background in there. There are a few variables there: gender, age band, marital status, education level, household supported count, which mean in the household how many people do the head count. And why choose the PDW? Why feature by? Why most attractive? For why feature by, it means what drives you to buy the PDW in the future. And why most attractive means what makes the ad for the PDW attractive in your opinion. And for the EDA, we will see structure, missingness, duplicates, summers demographics, text coverage, flag ultra-short answers or outliers. And for preprocessing, we will use light Indonesian text normalization and tokenization. We will derive concept indicators, which includes functionality, quality, value, taste, packaging, appearance, logistics service, price value, social proof, loyalty, sustainability, emotional tone. And for sentiment, we use polarity plus intensity via lexicon. We'll spot check with a lightweight model. And for encode demographics, we will standardize numerics, reduce mixed data dimensionality with FFMD. Okay, so for modeling, we will use k-means, k++ with multiple starts, and agglomerative or WART. What is the reason by using that? Because k-means is efficient and stable, and it gives compact spherical clusters in the FMD space. It is great for a quick iteration and clear centers that we can interpret as prototypes. While agglomerative or WART, it builds hierarchy without pre-choosing k. And WART tends to create balance, variance minimizing clusters, which is useful when structure may be nested or not perfectly spherical. And for the k-means, we can get k 2 to 6 and stability via multi-seeds and subsample checks. And for the evaluation, we will use silhouette, Davis Boolean index, DBI, and CHI. And segment quality is judged by the silhouette, higher better, DBI lower better, and CHI higher better to balance cohesion and separation. The reason why we use silhouette is because it is scale-free. It is helpful for comparing K and methods. For DBI, it penalizes overlapping clusters and rewards well-separated type groups, good for detecting over-fragmentation. And for CHI, it captures between or within variance ratio, which is sensitive to compactness and separation and often peaks near a reasonable K. And for customer profiling, which we will use later after evaluation, we will describe segments by, but not limited to, dominant concepts, sentiment distribution, map to message appeals, and demographic skews. And for the expected outcomes, there are pipelines of concept Q, sentiment plus FMD plus k-means or agglomerative, stable interpretable clusters outperforming concept-only baselines. So here we will see using k-means and agglomerative and evaluated by the silhouette, CBA, silhouette, DBI, and CHI, which one will perform the best and give the most separable and most meaningful clusters. And from that, we can have a result of stable, interpretable clusters outperforming concept-only baselines. And for segment narrative, we will have clear appeals and tone guidelines for PDW creative. And actionability, we will help decision support artifacts, include names, do or don't message, and sample copy angles. And for robustness, we will handle imperfect inputs such as short or empty text, spelling variants, or uneven scales. And for the timeline, for week 1, we'll use EDA, data cleaning, text normalization, sentiment lexicon setup, and quick validation. And for week 2, we will use feature engineering, including FAMD. Week 3, we will use baseline clustering runs, in this case, k-means, and agglomerative initial k-range exploration. And for 4, we will do model tuning and internal validation using Silhouette, DBI, and CHI, stability checks, and select the final solution obtained from the evaluation. So is k-means the best? And how much cluster does the k-mean produce, which the best from the evaluation, or agglomerative is the best? And week 5 from the results, we will do segment profiling, creative implication using figures or table. And week 6, we will put together our final research paper. And for resources, we will dataset, which is the survey responses with the more graphics and short text items. For software, we will use Python and the libraries according to the models and preprocessing things that we need. For linguistic assets, we use Indonesian software lists and sentiment lexicons like the model for spot checks. For compute, we will use laptop. For in the conclusion, the study spans a 5-week plan to segment Indonesian PDW consumers by combining advertising concept cues with short text sentiment and clustering mixed data via FIMD, and then it will be the input for k-means or agglomerative, and addresses a gap beyond transaction only approaches, aiming for stable, interpretable clusters that link dominant appeals, tone, and key demographics to clear creative actions. With light but robust preprocessing and strong validation, the project should deliver a reproducible workflow, concise segment profiles, and practical guidance that benefit both academic research and marketing practice. So that's for me and all I can deliver. Thank you for listening.